Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So, with this new combat rework just around the corner, they've decided to go ahead and change some of the gear set bonuses from those Avernus hunts. And the main reason for this is that power is now capped at 90%, like pretty much all of the other stats. And therefore, many of the gear pieces, which literally just give power as their set bonus, are now pretty much useless, and you'd be better off with a set bonus that would give you stats elsewhere, especially as a DPS, where your forte stat will grant you that extra 50% of this stat to your power, making it a whole lot easier to cap out. So what have they gone and done? Well, they went ahead and first up changed the Bone Devil's Ribcage. They changed its set bonus, so now that whenever you deal damage or heal your target for more than 10% of your maximum hit points in a single blow, you gain 2.5% critical strike and 2.5% critical severity for 15 seconds, and this will stack up 5 times, meaning you can get a total of 12.5% of that critical strike and 12.5% of that critical severity purely from this chest piece, making it pretty much one of the best out there. Currently, however, it does have a tooltip error where it will say 2.5% extra power, but it shall go ahead and add those critical strike and critical severity directly to those other contributions, and with them having a 90% cap, it makes it pretty hard to actually get these all the way up there, and with a chest piece like that giving that extra 12.5% on both of these stats, it'll make it a lot easier to cap these out while you're within combat. So therefore the pain and the grind to actually obtain that gear piece is going to be in the end pretty much worth it, especially for a DPS and also healers, as we also do benefit from critical strike and critical severity. As for tanks, it's pretty useless unless we just want more aggro. Along with that, they went ahead and changed the Whisperer's Hood of Quiet. On screen here you can see what it was before, and they went ahead and changed it so that when you damage or heal your target for more than 10% of your maximum hit points in a single blow, your accuracy is increased by 1.5% and your movement speed by another 1%, and this will last 10 seconds, and you can get that to a maximum of 5 stacks. Therefore, you can gain a total amount of 7.5% extra accuracy just from this headpiece, making it again one of the best in slot pieces for a DPS, since that accuracy is damn hard to cap out at that 90%. So the more you can get of it, the better, and accuracy will help decrease the reduction of damage when your attacks deflect. Along with that, they went ahead and changed up the Masterwork set bonus. For example, here I have the Masterwork 3 set, where if we go hover over it, you can see it will now give accuracy and 5% movement speed, stacking up to 3 times, giving you 3% more accuracy. It's alright, but I don't think it's going to make up for the extra damage you can gain from alternative sets for dealing damage. But as for a tank, that's pretty decent, buffing that aggro and buffing that movement speed. Now, these are not all of the changes that are to come, these are only a few, but these are the ones that they have currently worked upon and have released and outputted to us. There are of course still a good few other items from our hunts within Avernus, along with all other different item sets within the game. For example, the Celestial set. I would really love to get this Celestial weapon set bonus to be changed to be more in line with the Lionheart, where currently with this new combat rework, the Lionheart's weapon set will be a whole lot better, because no longer do we rely on our weapons to give us weapon damage, and thus the difference between the Celestial and the Lionheart is next to nothing aside from the weapon set. So ideally you guys go to the forums, try poke at the developers and get them to get us to have this weapon set changed. Although there's probably not a lot of you out there who actually have this weapon set, as it's currently still one of the hardest to obtain, as you'll have to go ahead and complete that master version of Zariel numerous amount of times to get your full set. Now, with much controversy, they have went ahead and changed the Vorpal enchantment just a little bit. They went ahead and changed it so now that it gives 4% critical strike and 4% critical severity. Now this isn't so bad, but again it's still not as good as what it was before. It used to give 20% extra critical severity. Now it's only giving 4% critical strike and 4% crit severity, which is a whole lot less than what it did contribute to us before, making it nowhere near as competitive as the Bilethorn enchantment, which got a buff to its magnitude and now deals that 60 extra magnitude damage pretty much every second in a single target fight, a boss fight. So Bilethorn is currently still pretty much the best for DPS. As for healers, I believe the Vorpal enchantment will still remain pretty much the best. As this Holy Avenger enchantment, it's good, right? But the extra benefits it gives is just really mediocre. The magnitude heal is pretty small and is only situational. You won't get it when you need it. You'll only get it at random, and therefore you can't control it. Whereas you're better off with an extra bonus that you can control, like 4% to your crit strike and 4% to crit severity, which is directly going to affect your heals, increasing them overall by a little bit more. They've also went ahead and made it so that we can now directly go ahead and trade in any of these things that would grant XP to our companions, since no longer do we need to level up our companions to upgrade them through the ranks. You can see we can literally go ahead and directly upgrade them, rather than giving them XP to go ahead and level them up like we used to, and therefore you would use things like the Greater Companion Experience Treaty. So let's go ahead and see what we can trade in and obtain through using these, and see if it's actually worth it to buy a bunch of these before these changes come about. So here we have our exchange vendor. Let's go ahead and see what she will offer us in exchange for those companion books. We can see here in the bonding exchange, if we scroll down to the bottom, it will give us the opportunity to gain 50,000 Astral Diamonds per book. Now, in my opinion, this is actually pretty good, along with some other various books, and there you can see the exchange rate, where you can just obtain pure Astral Diamonds for each of those. You can see I can trade in 30 of those, and that's going to give me a total of 50,000 Astral Diamonds for each of those. Now let's move on to the tank changes. What have they done? Well, they've changed multiple things with our powers. First up, on the Paladin tank, if we go ahead and look at our powers here, and we see Divine Protector, it now grants us 30% awareness, and without the feat it has that same effect where it will redirect any damage dealt to the nearest ally to you, and if we go ahead and use the feat, we can see it will reduce it to 6 seconds and now have that cooldown of 180 seconds. Ideally they would change this, because this power is, I guess, really nice, where we can basically nullify pretty much all damage against yourself except a few special mechanics for that 6 seconds. But without the feat it's still pretty nice, giving that extra buff to awareness and still having that same effect of redirecting at your allies' damage to you. But still, is it going to be better than, let's say, Heroism, just directly buffing your hit points and damage output? I kind of do think that Heroism will still remain better. So now let's move to the other tanks. Let's go to the fighter. What have they done there? Well, unfortunately for fighters, if we look in powers, their dig in will no longer cap out their awareness. So they shall now be able to receive a whole lot of combat advantage while they're digging in, whereas before they were able to completely negate it, since with bosses now relying on dealing that extra combat advantage damage to deal more damage, they went ahead and reduced it, so now it only grants the fighter a 15% more awareness when they go ahead and use their dig in ability. With regards to their feat on their bladed rampart, they went ahead and changed it so now it only grants a 30% to awareness rather than capping it out at fully and reducing all combat advantage damage to 0. And looking over on a Barbarian, I know they're not really the most favorite tanks, they went ahead and changed their primal instincts, this one right here, so it also gives a 30% bonus to awareness, and now it also gives a 90% to critical avoidance, meaning whenever you have this up, you won't receive any extra damage when you receive a critical hit. And that's pretty much it for the changes. Just some updates on the hunt gear, some adjustments to the tanks. Now they're still open to doing further adjustments on the items and item sets, and they would like you guys to make your suggestions in the relevant thread. I'll leave a link in the description. For example, ideally we'd get that Celestial set to have a better bonus than the Lionheart, so that it makes it actually viable to use them. So, if I presented this well, consider leaving the video a like, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.